Kushal Shah is the managing partner for Middle East for Roland Berger. He joined the firm in 2011, leading the telecoms practice in the region and beyond. Kushal is a member of the investment committee of the region's largest venture capital company. He spent 12 years with the leading consultancy in Dubai and London. He is also involved in the startup ecosystem and is one of the founders of Dubai Angel Investors, which empowers and supports startups and entrepreneurs. Kush studied economics at Cambridge in the UK. We are here today with an amazing man, a man who's a consultant by profession, an investor in terms of his passion, and a great human being at heart. So today we're going to be talking about his life, how he impacts us, and how he helps to make a difference in the future. Buddy, how do you do this? I mean, this is so much. You're juggling about 6 balls in the air. How does it all come together?
First, you have to learn not to sleep.
Okay.
No, it's very much adrenaline driven. You have to do this with so much passion that the adrenaline keeps driving you. Once in a while, you crash, and you take some time off. But there is a lot of adrenaline, both in myself, but also with the people around you, and they drive more and more of this.
What are your earliest memories in terms of how you grew up?
So I grew up in a little suburb in Nairobi, in Kenya. When I was 14, a 25-year-old Kenyan, local Kenyan, who would be telling me how he thinks, how he feels, how he digests information, which is very different from the way I was brought up, the culture I was brought up, etc. So I'm kind of being bombarded by a completely different perspective. At the same time, is pushing me to go to my limit from a training perspective. So that's probably what drove some of my ambitions or some of my push at the early ages.
So failure has become an integral part of how do we cope with this changing environment?
I would say there are 2 types of failures. There's a failure where the future is uncertain and you're trying to take a path and you fail to, let's say, cross the river in that path, either because the river wasn't there and you took the wrong path, or you couldn't swim across, one or the other. That's one kind of failure, and we have to all live with that to figure out if the path is the right path, whether our process is the right process. The other kind of failure is something that you should have achieved, i.e. you know how to do it, you can see the other side, you just failed to actually make it. Those failures typically hurt more than the uncertain ones. My best friend from home, he didn't even go to university, and what took me 16, 17 years to finish at school, he finished at 14.
Right.
Didn't go to university because he was just wanting to get on with business. Mm-hmm. And he had a couple of ideas, fail or not, that he had to get on with. And he says, I need the training behind me, the schooling, the maths, the physics behind me. I need to know it, and then I'm going to launch.
So jobs versus entrepreneurship, which one would you go for, and what are the variables we need to be looking at?
Who said a job cannot be an entrepreneur, and who said an entrepreneur cannot have a job? So I think it's a mix, and I don't think we should even separate the two. The people around me will see both sides of me come out, and they will be influenced by it, whether they be my colleagues, whether they be my clients, whether they be recruits. And similarly, on the other side, once you're a consultant, you always feed that through how you articulate yourself, how you do your analysis, and that feeds through to the ecosystem around you.
Who are your big role models in your life, and why?
My father has to be one. When I was 12, 13, he had a small retail store, maybe the size of let's say 10 by 5 square meter store. And first you'd teach me different parts of the business, which is fine. And then the best part was, once you've learned all that and you know the basics, he says, come and sit with me. And we'd sit there and we'd watch customers walk in and out. And he says, now start guessing what they're going to do. Start watching them. And every Saturday I'd sit with him and we'd watch and we'd speculate what they do. And we'd explain to each other why we are forecasting what they're going to do. We'd explain that to each other. And that was basically giving me signals on how to react also, they're going to do this. Can you change their behavior? And that's what we spent Saturdays doing. So it was fun, but at the same time, you're learning business, you're learning anthropology one way or the other.
Let me take you on to a fun journey. Let's imagine we're in a time capsule and we can actually time travel into the future. And imagine today is your 90th birthday. And you look back, and we're celebrating your 90th birthday. Your 65-year-old kids are there, and your 25-year-old grandkids are all there, and we're all looking up to Kush, grandfather Kush. Firstly, are you going to be a grumpy old grandfather? Are you going to be a fun grandfather? That's the first thing. But what are we celebrating? What have you achieved in the next 30, 40, 50 years?
First of all, I hope it's not grandchildren. I hope it's great-grandchildren, because a 40-year gap is too much.
Okay.
So if I'm 90, I better have great-grandchildren. That's one.
Okay.
Second, as I said, I want that full chain smiling. No sad faces in the family tree. That's important. That's probably the most important thing. No, fine, there might always be
ups and downs,
health and all of that kind of things, but as long as critical is that it's a happy family.
What advice do you have to a young 24, 25-year-old who's out there with a basic level degree looking for a job?
Know what you're good at. Make that very clear to everybody around you. Know what you're not good at, and make it very clear how whichever job you're going for will help take you to that next level. And be transparent, be open.
To all of the wonderful things you're doing. Thank you very much indeed.